Hey everybody, we are live. Look at this cool little trick, though you can't see my face. Welcome to Make It with Mandy. We are working on a very exciting thing today. We're gonna be doing, I'm actually gonna try to stand because I have a lot more energy when I stand. Let me pull you guys up. We're gonna be working on curving text in Silhouette Studio. And I'm really excited because I'm using a new software today that's gonna allow me to let you guys see my screen so I can actually walk you through it. This is something that's kind of new to us, so we're really excited. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This new segment, I can tell you already, I am loving it because we are just rocking and rolling, and I feel my creativity flowing, and I'm really excited. I'm on my phone. I'm not able to see everybody's comments live. So I'm also going to be looking on my computer to make sure I can see everybody. So say hey if you are here so that I know you are here. How is everybody this morning? You have your coffee, ready to be crafty? I have my heat press that I just unplugged so that I could turn it right back on in a minute in case there was anything weird that happened like it did the other day. Let's see if we have any Cricut users. There's no reason that you should turn it off because you can still learn in a different software, and there's no harm in that. So stay tuned and watch so you can learn something. Okay, cool. I have 62 people. Awesome. I know it's Friday. I'm so excited. I'm gonna raise this up just a little bit more so I can stand up straight. Good morning, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, so we're gonna make this adorable shirt that I created in Silhouette Studio, but even better, I'm gonna show you how I created it. I am not and this is a disclaimer, I am not, number one, an expert. I would not proclaim myself to be a silhouette expert or even a designing expert, but it's something that I really enjoy and something that I feel strongly about wanting to learn. And so as I learn, I want you guys to learn with me. So, and also I want to show you my shirt. I just made it this morning. Pumpkin spice is my favorite season, is what it says. Oh, and one thing I really like about this software I'm using to record is that it's turning me around so you guys can see the correct view. So you're not backwards, yay. Awesome. I use the new pumpkin spice pattern that we have, and this shirt is so cute. And I also use liquid gold fashion film. I'm actually going to try my hand at selling a finished item. I have a few reasons for doing that on Talk Shop Live today. If you guys haven't joined us on there, we're going directly over there. So right after this live, I'm gonna go over to Talk Shop Live, and if you guys make your own products and sell them, then I want you to come watch because you may get some ideas. Again, I am not the expert salesperson or the expert anything. But it doesn't matter because you don't have to be. That's what's so exciting about crafting. So if you are interested in learning about how to sell on Talk Shop Live, which is just like QVC for the internet, you have your own shopping channel and you can pull people over there from Facebook. There are so many perks to it. So I want you guys to come watch me if you can, because we're gonna have a great time over there, and I'm gonna, for the very first time ever, sell something like finished that I've made on Talk Shop Live. So it's gonna be exciting, and we're gonna see how it works out. I also, if you have your own business, I've also extended an offer that I am choosing a few products to sell for people on Talk Shop Live if they want. There's a way that we can link channels. I'm not accepting any compensation for it. I'm just trying my hand at helping you and expand your following as well as boost your sales, which is always good. Okay, so I am going to get you started with me on Silhouette Studio. We're gonna switch you around to the screen. Let me get on the right view. Okay, so you're gonna see, well, I'll show you that in a second. All right, I'm switching you over. This thing is so cool, guys. How cool is that? So you can still see my face. That's cool, right? And you can see what I've designed. Now, llamacorns are kind of a new thing. They are a mixture between llamas and unicorns. And what could be better? Because those are both really, really awesome, majestic creatures. Well, I guess a llama isn't, it's like a real creature. So what you're seeing here is my design that I actually hand drew this. I drew this on my my iPad Pro with my Apple Pencil, and it's a very rough, I mean, I didn't have to be like a super artist to do this, and so you can do it too. Believe me, if I can do it, then you can do it too. And I basically just traced it on Silhouette and I brought it in. So this is literally mine from scratch. So we're starting, so what I wanna do is I like these big spaces for to use with pattern vinyl. So I always love to find cut files or make cut files that have big spaces to use a lot of pattern. And I'm really excited about the pattern I chose. I actually chose Starstruck. If you guys can see that, it's the galaxy looking print. And then we're going to use this beautiful light pink fashion film that is cotton candy. It's adorable. Like you guys, I don't know if the shine's coming through, but it's gonna go really well with this. So we're pairing both of these and then we're gonna put it on a shirt that doesn't match at all. That's what's so exciting. And my great friend and virtual assistant, Lauren in Florida, soon to be Indy, she actually taught me this trick, and it's so smart. If you will put pattern vinyl on things that don't necessarily match, but just kind of enhance the color, it makes it stand out really well. So right over here, I have Majestically Awkward because this was I was just kind of playing around with this idea, so we can just forget this for now. But this is Save the Llamacorns, and I'll get on and look at your comments in a minute, guys. I used for my font for Save, this is Slapdash, and if you can tell, I haven't finished it yet. I haven't welded, but I wanted to take you guys through some of those. Now, this is my little llama, and then llamacorn, and I trace, let me ungroup all of this really quick so we're just starting from scratch. I actually traced my little unicorn horn, and if you can see, I have it layered. So I'm gonna ungroup this again, and I'm gonna give you guys this file so you can use it too, so you can do the same exact thing. So this is gonna be done probably in pattern. We'll look at it, and then this will be solid. This will be patterned, and then we're gonna do all of this in the solid. But I'm gonna have a few little tricks that I add. But the first thing I wanna show you is how to actually make this wavy look with your line tool. And because if I had just done just straight words, it would have been really boring. So I wanted to make sure to do something fun. First, I'll walk you through how I did this, the save the. Basically, I just typed save and then I changed this, okay? So to change it, you wanna use your select tool, click on it where you see these little measurement boxes, and go up to your font selections. And then I changed it to Slapdash, which is one of my favorite ones right now. Now you can see it doesn't all the way match up, right? Like it looks like maybe I just turned it like this. So see how you can use that little tool to turn? But no, I didn't. I actually maneuvered it and made it to where it looked, it's just really like what you like. So if you ungroup this, and that's right click, ungroup. And if I'm going too fast, remember that you guys can always log back on later and to see what, to replay this as well. So I actually made my S bigger right here. Okay, so I turned it a little bit, and then I made it bigger, and then I moved it around a little bit to make sure that it was gonna match up, and then I put my H a little in a different place just to fill in this space right here. You're just basically going by gut instinct, and you can get online, you go to Pinterest, you can go just anywhere on the internet and Google, you know, shirts or the design that you're trying to do, and I would start with imitating. Do not sell the ones that you're imitating though, because that would not be nice. But you can get on there, and that's how artists learn. And Nani, my designer, has taught me this, that if you start out, every artist starts out mimicking other artists, but we still want to be very respectful and not steal their ideas or their designs. Being inspired by them, being inspired is okay, but we don't want to steal their ideas, and we don't want to copy them verbatim, right, everything that they do, because that's not fair. You wouldn't like it, I promise. It's not fair. It's not a fun feeling when you realize that you've been imitated. Even though they do say that imitation is the highest form of flattery, it kind of stinks. So what we're gonna do, what I did here is I just separated all of my text, I ungrouped it, but one thing you don't wanna forget to do is what? Because if you look down here, let me zoom in for you. If you look in there, see how we have these little crossways because my A goes through, that would cut right there. So if you do not do the following, then you're gonna have a mess. Like all these words are gonna be separate and it's not gonna line up well. And actually, I kind of wanna scoot this over a little bit because I would like for my V and my A to be connected. All right, so what I wanna do next is I want to highlight, just save, okay? And I use my select tool to do that, shift. You can hold down your shift and also select at the same time. That is also another way to select if you're trying to get some, get in those curves. And Silhouette, actually on their new software, the update that they just did, they have a Lasso Selection tool, which is really cool. I don't think I'm using that version right now, so we're not gonna do that. And you can see I'm in Business Edition, but everything I'm showing you today will be something that you can access on the free, the regular Designer Edition. Now, I've selected my whole word, save, and I'm going to right click. I'm a big right clicker. I believe in that right click because it shows you what's available to do. And I'm going to now weld this, and look what happens. Do you see how that that line went away? So welding is what you do when you need to take away those lines. And I wanted to connect these two because otherwise it was gonna be in two separate spaces. It's really just all about what you like though. So that's important to remember. So I'm gonna undo that. So I go back to my weld, possibly. Oh, it doesn't like to do that, I forgot. Okay, so I'm gonna reselect it all. I'm holding down my shift, I'm pushing my mouse and right click, weld again. Now, if you ever mess up when you're welding, and you go further into the process, there is not like an unweld option. So you can just undo. That's what I do if I ever accidentally weld in the wrong place. I wanna do the same thing here for my the. I'm gonna right click and weld. Okay. And now let's zoom out and get some of these other things out of the way. And then we're gonna get to the exciting stuff in just a moment. I kind of want to see what you guys are saying. I'm so interested to see. I hate that I can't see it right here. I'm going to look over and see if I can see. No, I can't see anything. Oh man. Okay. We'll get the hang of it. This new software is definitely a winner. I'm very excited about it. Okay, so now I want to kind of imagine what's going to happen whenever I put my pattern on. And you can upload patterns into Silhouette Studio. We do not allow, like, we don't give you like a full design swatch of our patterns because unfortunately we do have people that like to print our patterns without permission. So we have to protect them. So you're more than welcome though to go to the website, use the magnifying glass, and it'll give you an idea. But one thing that I can do just to kind of get an idea of what this is gonna look like as a finished product with pattern is go to your pattern up here. This is the fill panel, and this is your color. If you wanted to change colors, you can change it to a gradient, or you can go over to patterns and you can fill it with a pattern. This is just a pattern that's uploaded already. That's not my pattern, but it's very similar to this. And I'm just wanting to get an idea of how these words are gonna stand out being on top of my llamacorn. And I'm gonna change the color of these as well. These are not grouped. So just to make things easier, I'm using my shift button and I'm selecting everything to group it. All the things that are gonna be grouped, possibly not. You know what, we're gonna move this out of the way. Because I wanna change the colors to the similar colors that I'm using. This just is one thing I do whenever I'm putting designs together, because it takes some time. Like I know you go on Etsy and you see all these amazing designs and you're like, you know, how do they do that? How do they just come up with that? But really it's practice, 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 and then also playing with it to see what it's gonna look like. So I have grouped my save the llamacorns, and don't worry, we're gonna get to Weighty Text in a moment so you can see how I did that. And then I'm gonna fill it with a light pink because that is the light pink that I'm using. And I can see that it looks pretty good. I am a little leery of putting the solid right on top of the pattern. So I wanna try something with you guys here. I'm gonna make my llama a little bit bigger just by adjusting. And then I'm going to offset. Unfortunately, I put all those together. Okay, so I just wanna offset just save the. That's what I'm gonna do just to put my little spin on it. And let me show you, but the offset isn't actually going to be a space. So I will show you. Remember the other day we learned how to offset and then do a knockout? So I'm clicking on Save the, and you go over here on the right, guys, to your offset panel, and then I'm going to offset it. You can't see, it's probably a little hard to see the cut lines, but I know it's a little larger than what I want it to be. Actually, I kind of like that. So typically I have to toggle this over here where it says 0.125, but I kind of like where it is. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this offset. We're just putting together what we learned the other day, guys, which is not, I just wanted to see what it's gonna look like. Remember, just trial and error is really, really important. So if you remember, so we moved our word off because we don't want to subtract this, but we're actually gonna be subtracting that offset. So we leave the offset right where we want it, and we're gonna select our llamacorn and our offset, okay? And then go over here to the right side to your modify panel. And can you see it pop up there? I know that some things won't show up because my face is in the way. I can't wait to see everybody's comments. I'm sure they're like, oh, we can't see. I hope not. I hope you can all see really well and hear really well. And I'm gonna choose subtract all. Now what that's done is that's made a space in the middle of my llamacorn. I may not like this, but I want you guys to see what my process is when I'm putting pattern and text together and font together, because sometimes it doesn't always work out. Now, I don't need that offset, so I can erase it, and I can move this guy back over here. Now, so I don't know, give me some loves if you like it. Don't do down thumbs, don't do that, but just give me some loves if you like this. Or if you'd rather see it the other way, leave a comment saying, I like it the other way. So do that, and then I'm gonna go over and check and put you back on my face. And then I'm gonna go check some comments really quick so I can see what you guys are saying. I really do prefer, and I did learn that with this studio, I can use my iPad to record, and I would be able to see what you guys are saying live. I just have to get a tripod for my iPad. I don't have one. So hopefully you guys are talking and chatting away, so I'll have lots to answer. Let's see. So Deb says she thinks the quality is better. I'm getting lots of love, so you guys like it with the offset. Good. Let's see. Good morning, Marjorie. Yes, Jerry. No, actually I can't. Slapdash is the one I used for save and the. And then we'll go look. It's probably Elliot that I'm using for the llamacorn font, but we'll check that out. And already 74 comments. Goodness. Thank you, Starlin. That's so sweet. Yeah, I think that, well, my light's a little lower, and so there's some shadow. So like it's a natural eyeshadow, but I do have eyeshadow on too. I threw it on like literally 5 minutes before I went live. You're so sweet. Oh, a doggy corn. That's a great idea, Starlin. Starlin's gonna make a doggy corn. So I'm just checking out all the comments. If you guys have anything you wanna tell me or inform me. And also, I wanna tell you that I know there are a lot of people out there that know more than I do. And so what I'm doing is just getting my information that's in my head and my process out there. If you guys have suggestions, and most of you are not shy about this, if you ever have suggestions or want it to be, or think that I should do something differently, or there's a shortcut to how I'm doing something, feel free. I am never offended because I think I'm totally a student. Like I will be a student for my entire life, and you should be that way too. When people try to help you, let them help you because it'll only make you better. And people also like to have information. So we all need a purpose, right? Hey, Claudia. I'm so glad you like it. We're gonna go back over in just a moment and get started with that, with the curving, doing the wavy text. Good, Crystal. Yeah, you know what? I do like my silhouette design software so much better. Cricut is great. Cricut has a great, the quality of cut. Like the cut is beautiful. You can cut some really intricate things. But I feel like I can do so many more things in Silhouette Studio design-wise. And so as I'm growing as a designer, I am getting more brave and I'm learning more things. And I'm actually going to, Terry Johnson's licensing in her silhouette licensing in September, so I'm hoping to learn more. And of course there's all things silhouette, and I'll sit in on some classes there too, and I'm going to be teaching at All Things Silhouette. So really, I just don't think that the knowledge is just absolutely endless. You can always be learning more with Silhouette Studio. There are so many things you can do. That being said, Cricut has an amazing thing going on too. I'm pretty sure, I was really tired last night, but I think I ordered the Maker because I want to use it with you guys. So I'm really excited about the fabric option and being able to put in an actual pattern and cut it. So hey, Michelle. Okay, so Vicky says, Mandy, what Jerry is asking, can you download the pictures of the vinyl ourselves? So listen, I will tell you, you can get a pretty good picture by just taking a snapshot of the pattern with your phone, then uploading that into Silhouette. Perhaps I will show you how to do that. You guys just have to promise me you're not gonna print it. I know you wouldn't. There are some people out there that have been in the past, and we try to be really careful with that, because obviously that's our livelihood, and that's, we've just invested so much of our hearts and time and money in creating our own unique images and designs, and that's my whole spiel on that. And I know that all of you that are wanting to do this are not concerned about that, but we just want to be careful. Let's see. You should see the mermaid font towel and bag I just made. My girls love it that much. I think I want one myself. Oh, I would love to see it, Abby. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna move on. You guys are awesome. I hope I saw everybody's comments, but I'm gonna get back on obviously later. And look, and we're gonna turn the heat press on because it's almost time to cut and press. And I'm excited about having you guys with me to do that. So let's go back over and learn how to do wavy text, because this is super fun. Okay, I didn't change the color of my horn, but we'll get there. And if there's another name for it, is it a horn? I think it's a horn, I don't know. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let me put you back on. That is so cool, just super cool. Okay, so looks like, you know what, I already made this a path, but I bet it's Elliot. So this is called text to path. And basically you start with text and you turn it into a path. You convert it to a path. Once you get it to a path, it's no longer considered a font. So you can't go in and change the font and that sort of thing, as far as I know, unless there's like some kind of secret that I don't know. But just know that you want to get the font, select your font before you do all this. So that's what we should do first. So let's try Elliot, because I do believe, Jerry, that Elliot was one that I used for this. I also like Cricut. That's the name of the font. It's a really good one. I'm right now just going, yeah, I think it's Elliot. Okay, so let's go ahead and type llamacorns. And there are several, you can do this in a couple of different sequences, but right now I'm just gonna go ahead, find the font since that's on my brain and I don't forget that. Elliot, See all my fonts. It's so sad though. I have my favorite fonts that I always use, and yeah, it's Elliot. So the script is slapdash, and the regular print is Elliot, and I have no idea where I got them. But it's probably Hungry JPEG, possibly So Fancy. I think I've had these for a while though, so it was probably Creative Market or Hungry JPEG. Okay, so now we have our llamacorns. And remember how I said that this is a font? Let me tell you the things you can do with a font versus a path. I can still go up here and change them to any other font that I wanted to. Once it's a path, I can't do that any longer. You can also, over here on the right, if you look at the font, the text style panel, once you change it to a path, you're not able to use this, and I'll show you where it's grayed out in a moment. So let's go ahead and make our wavy line, and I'm sure there's a much better name for it, but wavy, you knew what I was talking about when I said let's use the wavy line tool. Okay, so up here are your line tools, and you can make you can make like just straight angles, you can make curves, you can make just a regular curve, and I'm gonna show you a few different options. You know what, let's do the first one, the easiest one that I learned. The first one I learned was a circle or an ellipse, okay? And it's an ellipse because it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. You can make it whatever shape you want, and you basically just, I'm holding my mouse down and I'm just dragging it to make it the shape I want, okay? Actually, you know what? I want it a little bigger than that. So you can resize it. I just went up there to my select tool and I'm resizing it. Remember, you can replay this later if I'm going too fast. We just want to make sure to keep everybody's attention for those that do know what's going on. And that's the size that I chose. Now, I'm going to select my llamacorns and double click on it. And look what happens. My measurement box went away, and then you have this cool little thing right here, which I'm sure has a very cool name. My silhouette experts help me out with that. And if you move it around, I want to show you, and you just hold, you move it with your mouse and you drag it around, it will conform to basically any shape on here. Watch this. Like, you can imagine, of course it's a mess. You'd have to, you know, really work at fixing the fonts and making the spacing and stuff, but you can put it around any shape, okay? So this is one way you can do it. And then if you wanted it to curve the other way, watch this. You just drag it down. Well, okay, you can go all the way around the circle, or you can go on the inside of the circle to make it look like this. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and select this. I know it's not the wavy tool yet, but we're getting there. You can see where it's overlapping right here. There's a couple things you can do. You can use your space bar and manually character space. You can click back on it by selecting it and go over here and adjust your, we're on that same, remember the text edit selection, let me find the exact name, text style panel. Right here, if you go down to character spacing, you can actually make the spaces bigger, but that's not what's needing to happen right here. One, I either need to make my circle bigger or make my font smaller. So let's go back over here, and you can see it's now connected because I picked up my mouse and I can't take it away, right? So there are a couple of ways I'm sure you can do this, but I'm just gonna, I love my undo option, guys. It makes things so cool. And there's a new, I'm just undoing until I go back. There's a new undo option over here where you have a multiple undo. So I could actually go back and see where I was, like all the way back to the beginning. Like you can go back that far and you just click and it would take you all the way over there. We're not gonna do that because that would not be good for us in this moment, because we don't wanna go back to the beginning of designing this. I did a lot of things in here. So I'm just taking it, okay, so see now my green box is back, which means I can move it around. So let's get it off of here and put it to the side. And I'm just gonna make my text smaller, okay? And I'm gonna try again. Double click on that box until that green, neon green box comes up, and then you're gonna move it around. And now it has this cute little curve to it. It's not too extreme, and the letters aren't terribly overlapping. I still may want to go back over to my character spacing and make it a little bit more spaced out, which is totally fine. And so sometimes, so you just have to play with it. You have to play with making your circle bigger, making your font smaller, maybe using a different font. And as long as you don't convert this to a path, you're fine. You can double click. Oh, so you can double click. I didn't have to undo. You can double click back on that word, and as long as it's not converted to a path yet, it will be fine. So you can see I can still move it around and adjust it, even though I clicked off of it. And I can even double click on it, pull it back off, and use it for the next path. So I'm gonna erase my circle because we're not doing a circle. We're going to be using the wavy tool. And we're gonna draw the curve shape. Let me check my heat press. Good, we're doing good. And I'm gonna now draw, I'm gonna take you over here so you can see my curve, my little hills, okay, if you will. All right, so the first thing you do, if you can see, it's the little, it looks like a little cross. I'm gonna click down, and then if you look at the angle that you wanna do, and you're gonna have to play with this in the beginning because right away, you may not get it perfectly, but just play with it. So I clicked again, so click once, click up here, and then go over here, and you can keep doing this same thing. Now, the first time I did this, I made my wave way too big, okay? Or way too extreme. See, these angles are really extreme. So I'm gonna stop and we're gonna redo it. I'm gonna show you what is a better angle, because it seems like, because you're looking at the angle of the top of the letters and you think that it's going to be an extreme angle, but even a bit of a wave is perfect. So right now, until you push your select tool again, which is this arrow up here, you're going to be dragging that line around. So just click the select tool and boom, there you go. Now, just like any shape or figure that you've drawn, you can actually do the same thing with this, and you can modify it just by doing the same thing that you normally do whenever you edit a shape. You can make it bigger. If you wanted to continue, and remember, undo is your friend. If you wanted to continue it, you could keep clicking on it. Up, undo. There we go. So there you go. There is the line. Now I did squeeze mine down a little bit to where it wasn't as extreme, and that's what you can do, and that's what we're going to actually go with right now. Oop. And you can see when you click on that line, you're able to adjust the curve as well. Okay, so let's get this over here. Just move it over here, and I'm going to make it a little bigger as well. And let's see how this goes. So you click on your llamacorns, double click on it, and you're going to use that little circle, and you're going to put it on the path, okay? And again, you just may have to play with this until you like how it looks. Now I ended up using some spacing, and I can see I still have the angle it's just too tall. So I'm going to pull this off, or the curve is just too tall for me. So I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to squeeze it down a little more, and I'm going to double click on my font, pull it back over here, and I like that a lot better. If you needed to space these out, you can use the character spacing until you've converted it to a path. Now, you keep hearing me say convert to a path, right? That's what you want to do right now. Because when I click off of this, you think, oh, I love this, this is so cute, and you want to use it for your design, but now there's this line there, right? If you right click on that word, you have an option to convert to path. Now I want you to take a look. As I click on this, you're going to see on the right hand side of my screen that stuff is not going to be available anymore. So all of this character spacing, line spacing, all of that is now gone. It's converted this to a path as well. This is now a cut. So you can just select this little line, take it away, and there you go. If you were to take that line away before you converted the word to a path, it would take the word away as well. Or it would return your word back to just a regular aligned word. So now we've converted to a path. If you wanted to modify these individually, you still could. You could right click, you could ungroup, and you can manually go in there and move things apart. And I'm just using my select tool to highlight the ones I want to move, and I'm just spacing them, okay? So that is, I know it's like, for such a fancy thing, it's super easy. And just replay this. It's like just fast forward to this part and replay it later if you forget the convert to path part, because that's the only thing I can think might be something that you might forget. So remember, we used the line tool, we typed our word, we double clicked on our word, we drag it to the line tool, and voila. Okay, so I am now going to prepare and cut, and as we're cutting, I am going to look at comments and see what everybody is saying to me. So I have this beautiful Starstruck that we're gonna use for our unicorn. And I'm gonna be cutting on my silhouette, of course, today, as I designed this in Silhouette Studio. So I'm just placing my HTV. We're gonna use regular HTV because this is going on a shirt. I'm gonna make Maddie a shirt. She has casual Fridays, so she's able to, let's go back to this so you can see me. She's able to wear whatever she wants, basically within reason, of course, on Fridays. So we're gonna make her a shirt for next Friday, and then we'll do a little cute picture, and Mommy will be really proud. So Starstruck is what we're using for our pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my pattern pretty side up, okay? And I'm going to place it on my silhouette Cameo. I'm using a Cameo 3. And now let's go back, and I want to show you really quick my cut settings. A and B. Okay, I just love this software. Now remember, we first of all, let's put our little corn back on, our horn, and I'm sure it has a better name. And you may want to play with it and see if you want it bigger, or the offset bigger, but I don't know. I like it how it is. I think that's really cute. I think it's gonna be a subtle, pretty, shiny thing in the background. I think it's gonna be perfect. I still haven't decided. Yeah, I think I want the pattern in the back, and then I'm gonna put the solid on top. So it's actually going to be pink as well. And just so we don't get confused, I'll go ahead and make it pink. Whoop. Oh, no, this is gonna be patterned. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make our little horn patterned. Okay, hold on. Okay, good. I wonder. Oh yeah, that's gonna look amazing. Okay, I'm gonna look at the sizing of it. My daughter is 12 almost, so I would probably do it about 7 or 8 inches wide. And because llamacorns right here is the biggest part of the design, is the widest part, so we still want it to be proportional. So I use my silhouette mat to measure everything, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You may want to measure, you may want to actually hold it up to your child or yourself and see what's going to look right and where everything's going to fall. That's important. Like I was doing this pumpkin spice design earlier, and I had 2 of these cute little pumpkin spice cups on either side, and it looked really weird. So because of where it landed. So Lauren helped me with that. She's always good for that advice. So I am going to go ahead and we're gonna just cut solid first because we put our solid on first. So this is how I do it. I drag my solid off, and not my solid. Yeah, my solid off. We're gonna do pattern first. Get it together, Mandy, get it together. All right, so I like to save space. And remember that we place that pattern pretty side up. So we actually don't need to mirror cut this because we're cutting from the front, and we're gonna transfer it later, and I'm gonna show you how to do that in case you don't know. And I'm gonna cut it just like this. I like my sizing. I'm going to send it, and I'm gonna play with my heat press so it doesn't turn off. Make sure my cut is on. I use Heat Transfer Smooth for my pattern HTV as well as any of my solids, so Easy Weed or Fashion Film. I use HTV Smooth as well. And I'm going to send as is. I kind of like how it's hanging off. I can see now that I didn't see before that it's kind of open a little bit, if you can see on these areas, but I could have even gone bigger and that would have looked cool too. I could have done a bigger offset. What do you guys think? Do you want me to include the offset with your file, or do you want to offset it on your own? I know the Cricut people will probably want an offset themselves. Maybe I'll put it in there and do one of each so that you can just grab it and do either way. So I'm gonna hop over and look at comments in a minute. We're using a Cat and Jack shirt with these cute little sparkles in it. I've been asked many times if that can be used, and it so can. So let's go back over here so we can answer some questions. These can be used on the heat press. I've not had any problems with the foil getting messed up. So it works out perfectly. It's probably heat pressed itself, who knows, right? Okay, so let's look at some comments. Is my llama too high? Possibly. I will look back at it. I mean, now it's a little too late, but we'll see once the finished project's done, which is why it's good for me to be able to do this before you guys, because I sometimes will get things finished and it look great on the screen, and I put it on and it just was like, what? So we can certainly give you just the llama itself along with the font, and you can just do it however you want to do it, and that will be totally fine. Okay, so our pattern is done. And let me look at some of these while this is, okay. Convert to path, that's right. That's right, Miss Michelle. I know, it was one thing I was confused about as well. Hey, Julie. Julie's on. Okay, do the offset. Also, you said something about a maker. What is a maker? Miss Vicki, you and I think were talking about this the other day. It's the Cricut Maker, and you and I need to discuss this because it is, it will make, like, you can put actual sewing patterns, you program the actual sewing patterns to be cut in the design space, and then it will cut it on the it will cut the fabric for you in the pattern shape, and all you have to do is sew. and you and I have talked, and I told you that I tried my hand at sewing at one point and got really discouraged, but I'm thinking that I may get back into it. So, okay, I am placing my solid on now. The glossy side is gonna be down, and most of you probably know that you will mirror cut this, and the reason why is because we're cutting from the back side. So the back side is facing up on this. I'm gonna load it. I'm gonna take you back over so you can see all of what I am doing really quick. Okay, now I'm going back to my mat. I'm gonna take this, oop, I don't want that on there. I'm going to take my pattern off my mat. Again, this is just how I do it. It's like old habits die hard, right? I'm gonna place this on there. Now, you know what? I could cut it like this and it would be fine, but I wanna reline it back up to make sure that I put it exactly where I want it, and that way later I don't have to worry. So yeah, I really like, I can't remember who asked me that, but I really like it like this. I like having the offset and the space on some of this, on the script, and then having it, who knows, it could look crazy, but because the legs are little, I think this will be good. I could have done smaller. I mean, there's a million things you could do, really. So that's the beauty of art, right? Is you can do it so many different ways, and there's never really a mistake. That's what's so cool. And mistakes are usually easy to fix if there is a mistake. So I'm gonna actually, I lined those back up so that I don't have to reline them back up later, and I'm going to group these now. Now, I did a right-click group, and there is the option to mirror it whenever we go to the mat, but I don't like to use that. I like to flip mine horizontally just so I don't forget right here on my mat, and then I send it. But what you want to be careful of is when you go to here, remember it's HTV smooth, when you go here and it asks you, do you want to mirror it? We've already mirrored it, so do not mirror it. You just send as is, and that's going to cut. Okay. One thing I didn't do on my pattern that I wish I had done is I wish that I had put a cut box around my pattern. When you're using Pattern HTV, if you draw a little box around it, it's so much easier, and for some reason when I'm live, I never remember to do that. I don't know why. So, I hope you guys join me on Talk Shop Live. Just come watch. I know that you guys can make your own shirts, so I'm not saying come buy anything, but come watch me after this because I'm gonna be selling these cute pumpkin spice shirts, and I wanna try my hand at selling so that I can give you guys pointers for those of you that wanna try it. Because I've had a lot of success on Talk Shop Live, and I feel that as you build your audience, and I can help you build that, there's a couple of different ways, that you will also be successful because you guys sell finished products already, and that's who will be on there. I'm just weeding this really quick. That's who's gonna be on there, are people that need finished products. There are not a ton of crafters on there, just basically our audience, I think, that I've seen so far. Eventually there will be more. There we go, there's our cute llamacorn. He's so cute. He is adorable. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do my, the inside of my horn. So I'll go back and do that in a minute. I can't wait to find out what that's, or no, it's the outside of my horn. So we'll just take that back on there, and I'm gonna send it back through in a minute. So really quick, I wanna show you guys how we're going to do this. I'm going to take my mask, okay? And I'm going to use this, I weeded this first, and I'm just going to take my mask, put it right on top of it, and transfer it off. And I wish I had a camera down here to show you guys what I'm doing right now, but I don't, but I will pull the camera. Actually, I can pull it down. Sorry if that's too loud on your ears, guys. The silhouette is a little noisy. I was at a Cricut retreat this last weekend, and it was like, oh, I forgot how quiet the Cricut is. Okay, so we're over here. I have not used this, maybe we'll turn it around. Maybe that's what we'll do. Let's see. I've not used this yet with my other, like on the heat press, like the new software I'm using, the Switcher Studio. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Just bear with me, guys. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are amazing. Okay. First, I want to mask this, and I have my squeegee over here. I really am organized, regardless of what it looks like. I'm gonna use my squeegee to put my mask on. And I don't even have to cut my mask because I'm gonna reuse that over and over again. So I'm just putting that on there and I am squeegeeing it. Of course, you wanna make sure you don't have any other HTVs and I just make myself around, because if you put that on your shirt, it will stick. It will stick to it forever and ever, unless you have DLR or something like that. And then this is a very important part. You wanna pull this backer off, and it should come right off like that, okay? Now, I do have these little pieces in here that I didn't show you. We did go over it the other day. You know, they don't really bother me. I am gonna take off this little one. You can do this actually before you cut is the smartest time to do it. But as I'm looking at it right now, I don't like how small it is, so I'm gonna take it off. So, okay, everything else is pretty much gonna have to stay there. Let's redo. I'm gonna also cut, I'm over here, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna also recut, my little horn, I didn't cut that, and I can put it right back in there and put it in this space, because if you see my screen that we did earlier, you are able to just, it's gonna fit in there. Of course, I'm gonna pull this off. I just reloaded my mat because I forgot to cut it. And I'm going to send. And send as is, because that doesn't matter because it's symmetrical. Okay, so let's go back to all the fun we were having. Of course, oh, there it is. My llama horn. And we're gonna pre-press our shirt. You want to pre-press because it's going to make it where you get all the moisture out of it. And we are done cutting. So for those of you that were tired of hearing that, it's over. It is over, finally. And I am going to go ahead and pre-press my shirt. I could put my line down the middle. Some people think that's more important than others. Megan, but she's not here right now, but that's okay. We'll make her proud. We will make her proud. So I don't even have to clamp down really hard. I'm just basically putting the press on it for a moment. You can use your Teflon if you have a sensitive material, Teflon or a parchment sheet, like parchment paper that you can get from the grocery store is something you can use just as well. And I've put a midline on my shirt, okay? Some of you guys have seen me do this a million times, and if you have, I'm so sorry, but we do have new people watching, I know, because they're so excited about the Make It with Mandy and getting the design and all of these cool ideas. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and weed everything else to make sure that I have everything where I want it before I get started. So let's unload this. Now, when you take this off, I will tell you, fashion film is a little stretchier than regular Easy Weed. So one thing that I like to do sometimes, especially if there is a lot of, if there's a lot of font or small pieces, I like to heat it up just for a moment. And how I do that, I lay it on the glossy side. I have a weeding panel as well, which is really good, but I use the glossy side and hold it on there just for a second. You don't want to activate the adhesive or anything, but I hold it on there for a second and I get it going, which of course, it's just never a dull moment. There we go. I don't have my weed and pick tool, which I love the most, but that's okay. We're gonna do this. Okay, so you can see that it's gonna come off a little easier. It's just super stretchy. And so that really helps whenever I heat it up just for a second. And you can just pull it right away. Because the stretchier an HTV is, it's a little harder to weed. Easy Weed is literally so wonderfully easy to weed. And so is the patterned vinyl, which is also a Caesar product. So it's super easy to weed. You don't have, the carrier sheet doesn't hold on to it quite as much as this one is. You can see my horn over there on the side. That worked out well, which is always good. And okay, so remember guys, you're going to get this file. I'll put it, I'm gonna actually update the live with it in a few, so it'll be on this live. Let me do my TSL first, and then I will put up this file for you because I didn't get it up before the live, but we will be doing it. And I can't wait to see all the different versions of llamacorn shirts because there are lots of llamacorn fans, I bet, and you guys didn't even know it. Like I showed my daughter, she had never heard of a llamacorn, and I showed my daughter and she was like, oh my gosh, Mom, did you come up with that? That was so smart. And I was like, no, I didn't come up with it, but it is kind of a newer notion. It's kind of one of those things I've just now started seeing. So if you run a business, having a llamacorn design is gonna be a good thing because you always wanna get ahead. Like when you see things trending, do it because people will take notice and you just wanna kind of always be on the cutting edge, no pun intended. And I wish I could see your comments. Usually when I'm weeding, I can see your comments and I'm sad I can't see them right now. But give me a second and I'll go back and see them. I guess I should probably concentrate on weeding because I typically forget to weed something on a live. So basically, if you haven't ever seen something weeded, this is weeding negative space, and this weeding tool is not nearly as good as my weed and pick, which is downstairs. And I did not bring it with me. So I'm gonna cut my little horn out because we don't want it to be stuck right there, right? And then because it's so small, I'm gonna stick it to my computer so that, see how pretty this is, guys? Look how gorgeous. Well, let me turn to the right. Isn't that beautiful? So this is electric cotton candy, and it's super stretchy, which is why it's a little harder to weed, but it's worth it, totally worth it. Okay, so now I'm just going to very carefully, because I don't want to stick it to the other sheet, just kind of see where I want to put this. And it looks like, yeah, that's going to work out perfectly. So I'm going to fold this in half and use this as kind of my guiding light, because since I have this cutout right there, we want to make sure that the llama goes perfectly, will line up perfectly, but we want the font ultimately to be what's going to be in the middle, right? So let's put this little guy back on. I'm going to, after I line them up, see, this is what I said don't do. I'm going to put this guy on first. I want to make sure it's pretty much in the center. Because if I put this, folded this in the middle, it wouldn't necessarily line up because that's just how it is. So let's do this. With a kid's shirt, you want to be 1 to 2 inches from the collar, and when we press, we're going to pull that collar off. And so then now I'm just going to make sure I'm lined up again. You guys see me do this like a million times, but that's because when I'm on live, I'm not really thinking. I have to talk because I know you guys would be so bored if I shut my mouth, right? You're probably like, no, Mandy, you can shut your mouth. Okay, I like where that is. I'm going to now pull my collar off of, very carefully, of course, but I want a very nice, firm press. So, again, you don't have to use a Teflon, but I do have a little bit of HTV hanging off. So just to be on the safe side, we're gonna do a quick tap. Now, listen, literally 4 seconds and this is good to go. Watch this. It comes right off. Okay, very important part right here. You're going to take your backer and you're going to put it on your carrier sheet so that you can use it again later. And then you can use it over and over and over again. Okay, so we have it pressed enough to where we can now put our words. And right there. Now, if you guys see this right here, this is because I use scrap sheets sometimes for lives, and that is like the end of the roll, and so it's just stuck on the carrier sheet. We don't send those out, and we try not to, but it's not gonna hurt anything because it's gonna come, that's actually just on the carrier sheet. Now, I am missing my horn, and I think I weeded my project. I'm gonna go another 4 seconds or so just to do a quick press. And we're gonna pull that off. And now we can't forget our gorgeous horn. Now, I am looking for it because I cut it. I'm pretty sure I cut it. Let me check back. Don't you guys love me? Isn't that awesome? I did, right? I did cut it. Who knows where it is though? One thing, okay, where's my, oh my goodness. Did you guys see what happened to it? Remember when I stuck it to my computer? Of course it disappeared. And we are gonna put that horn on there, the corn. I keep calling it a corn. All right, well, if we lose it, we can just do another one. Not a big deal at all. Not a big deal. I don't know where in the world it went. My goodness. Okay, hold on, guys. Man, it makes me so sad when that happens, right? Okay, no problem. We're gonna do one more. I'm gonna take you back to my screen so you won't be super bored. Of course, my Mac is saying that my battery is, I cannot believe I lost that. I know you guys can relate though, right? I mean, I don't even have the other one to do. So we're gonna cut it really quickly. Again. And, okay, I'm gonna take you back to me. Maybe, if I can figure out how to turn you around. Don't you love it when this happens? I love it, I love it. I know it's around here somewhere, but instead of you having to watch me search for it, we're just going to send it again. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's probably like right under here. So let's go to comments really quick so I can see what you guys are up to. It's so frustrating though, you know? I found it, yay! Of course, after I already cut it, but that's okay. So we found this one. I did not find my pattern one. So quick note, make sure to pay attention to what you're doing. It is difficult. If you guys ever do a crafty live, you will see that it is rather difficult to do all of those things at one time and like actually have your brain going. Now, one thing is though, I will show you in just a moment. I'm gonna turn this around so you guys can see. I actually think I like it without the pattern on the inside of the corn, the horn. So I think it stands out better with just that, just the solid, the shiny solid. So let's do that and not worry about the fact that we lost the other one. And if all else fails, no matter what, of course my Teflon disappeared, no matter what, we're gonna be able to go back and put it on top of it because we were planning on layering that on top of that, the llama's horn anyway. So this is gonna be fine. And then this is gonna kind of be my final press for everything. You know, a lot of people will over press their HTV, which you really just don't need to do that. This is, let's see if we have a line in there. Sometimes there will be a line around and you won't want to get that in there. So, okay. Give me some love if you like it. And I want to hear, I wish I remembered who said that they thought it might be too low. I really like that though. I really, really love it. Let me get you an up close look so you can see how shiny this HTV is. This is cotton candy electric fashion film, and look at I really like what we did here. I think that was a good idea to put that, just the solid on there. So that was actually fortunate that we lost that. So what do you guys think? Are you loving it or what? Let me know. Let me know. Now I'm gonna turn you around so you can see me. Okay, so that makes that. I hope you guys liked that. As usual, it wasn't like perfecto, but I want you to hop over on TSL just to watch me. I know you guys can make this yourself, and I actually made the file so I could actually give it to you later. It's totally fine, but I want you guys to come over and watch me sell, so maybe you can learn something, or maybe you can give me suggestions. But this is the Save the llamacorns tee. Now, if it was on me, yes, you can see it kind of falls in a weird spot, right? So you would want to scoot this up. So we're gonna give you both. I'm gonna give you the offset because on my daughter, it's gonna be fine. They're usually just, we don't have the same concerns with the little girls necessarily, but for us, we don't want a big long line like under here. That would be weird, right? That would be weird. So you're right, whoever said that, you're very right. It possibly could be too low. So maybe I'll rework it too, but I'm gonna give you both options so that you can make yourself one, because I know you want a Save the llamacorns shirt because it's adorable. What do you guys think? Okay, awesome. I'm gonna look at this. Okay, I'm so glad you like it, Crystal. I've got to get this thing going where I can see live comments because I really, 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 really like that. So Heather asked, where do we go for the live? You were here. You are at the live right now. TSL, okay, so it's talkshop.live, so that's talkshop.live, and it's the Sparkleberry channel. So in a minute, I will post, when I go live, I post the link to it so you're able to see, but you also need to subscribe and follow our channel so that you can get notifications every time we go live. You'll get an email notification, and I know we love emails, especially Sparkleberry ones, right guys? No, I try to be careful with my emailing. I'm so glad you guys liked it. I'm gonna hop over. I need to go ahead and set that up. So I'm gonna do that. Catch me over on Talk Shop Live Love you guys bunches. Again, we'll be live with Make It With Mandy every Tuesday and Friday doing a project. I think I'm gonna get a maker. So you guys wanna see the Cricut Maker in action? That's the thing, is you can have both machines. It's fine, it's fine. I have both machines. I use different ones for different things. So thank you guys for joining me this morning, and hop over to Talk Shop Live in a few minutes because I'm gonna try my hand at selling t-shirts. Isn't this cute though? Pumpkin spice is my favorite season. And I used the electric as well. Okay, see you there guys.